No, no. See, what it is this: is there's good Jews, there's bad Jews, there's this and that. The guys in the books, the bad guys in the books aren't even in there. Their names aren't even in the books. Caiaphas is the fall guy for the lead Pharisees things. Caiaphas is like the guy that Jesus goes and confronts. He's the one with the balls enough to confront him. There's other ones that are the really bad guys remove themselves from the books. They're the ones in charge of writing the books. If you know your history. Oh, they told me that about the Mutazila and the Muslims. That they all that we had written about the Mutazila was left by people that killed the Mutazila. No, I don't think the Catholic Church is evil. I don't think the Vatican is evil. I don't think they're the epitome of all evil. I don't think the Zionists that went back to Israel are the epitome of all evil. I think there's some evil people backing them. I think the cartels and the things, the silence, they're in the shadows. They've always been in the shadows. They don't come out in the light of day. And yeah, walk through the valley of the shadow of death. They're afraid of the sun. I told you that stuff too when they were doing the movements to shut down the sex trade operations and the drug cartels throughout Europe and Indonesia and all that and everything. In Afghanistan, no one knows who they are, so it's really easy to get rid of them. They didn't see that coming. Yeah, and in Los Angeles and other places and stuff like that, those ones that were neighbors that, Will and his friends and family and things, they're just gone. About their kids, it depends. They just disappearing. It's scary. No, it's not. These people were up to no good. It's like Traffic. Ever seen the movie Traffic, Don Cheadle? And the one good-looking, is it Catherine Zeta-Jones, who's the wife of the guy, and and stuff, and the one, and then finally, John Cheadle's partner gets killed, and he falls in the house and throws the, puts the thing under the coffee table, walks off. I'm gonna get this bitch. It's, and they'll replace him with another one. He's a Lego piece. There's always the, same thing like we found No Country for Old Men. It's always the thing that goes up, but it always goes a step higher. And a lot of times it has a lot of ties to government and this and that, but it's always the guy who's doing the down low dirty thing. Voldemort. He's on the back of someone's head. Just joking, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Michael Aquino is obviously, but he is. Well, Hitler was out there in the public view for everybody. The people really running the Nazi Party and stuff like that. Hitler's the front person, and then the other guys are behind the scenes network. The real, yeah. The Rockefellers, there's good Rockefellers and there's bad Rockefellers. There's good people in the family. It's like Nebuchadnezzar's line and things and stuff like that. It's not a cut and dry, simple, bad, good versus evil in the fact that it's in us. The battle's in us, and some people buy into their own bullshit, and some people don't. And some people have been secretly running the world for 4,000 years and secretly, not very secretly, eating it up. And now they're starting to show it and see it to them. And there's people on the top ends, what the Rockefellers have been trying to do for years and set up this stuff. And they told you that in that Z Guys movie is, oh, we're doing this and we're doing that. Why? Because we're trying to make it a better run world. Now they're realizing that, like Bob Marley said, oh my God, it's illiteracy, the only thing that makes money, slave driver. They realized that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And mama, my intentions were the best, They were good intentions when they started getting to the point where they saw that things were showing nuclear weapons, the whole, having to move everybody under the Washington and the bunkers and it was, this was all irrational fear mongering and stuff like that to make you do what you needed to do. But now that they see the overconsumption, now that the true mathematicians are in the building, the Ralph Parsonses, the Isaac Benegases, the Gabe Aviars, the Patrick Parsonses, Junior's got him. They're distracting the hell out of that poor kid. They did that to me, and he gets a little more angry than I do. He has close story lines to Hood and Socrates too, and if you study them both, they have a tendency to get a little lit. What? They both woo, and I got that too. How do I do it? I handle it differently. When I'm younger, I tolerate it more. When I get older, but when I go through my God spell, I blow up. Moses was the same way. He tolerated it. Then he goes through his God spell, and then he learns to blow up. Boom! So I go in an opposite. He blows up, learns from his mistakes, and he gets older. He gets more even keel. I go the opposite. I'm a little more tolerate abuse a little bit better. I never did. I had other friends that tolerated it better. Now I told you about Raymond Andrews and punching. Man, I'd have gone off. I told you about that with that one guy. I forget his name, but the one that stabbed the one guy, and he came up and he tried to extort them, and I was like, nah, Bob said she got a restraining order on him stuff. He shows up, all I got to do is just grab one of Dad's, she sold my guns by then. I don't need a gun, I'll just grab I'll grab a pipe, take it upside his head, drag him through the sliding glass window, slam his head in it, call the cops and say, yeah, this guy had a restraining order, said he was going to hurt my sister. He didn't do it now. Why didn't you jump them out like that? Because that was a domestic thing that I didn't know what was going on, and I loved them all, and I love Shell, and I had plenty of room and women deal me dirty and do me wrong, and had a bad day. I loved Demont, though, still do. But, yeah, if I had it all over again, I probably would have tackled his ass right up into that wall and knocked his ass out. You don't hit that woman. I love that woman, you know. And that would have changed my whole general dynamic of my life. But you still wouldn't have helped. Michael Aquino and his cronies and all these other people still would have fucked with me and would have fucked with Melinda Bowe and Michelle. It still wouldn't have. We still would have ended up in a similar path, condition that we're in. Because they think that they can take away people's free will. They think they can manipulate the situations. They think they're fulfilling the book. And I always told everybody, like I told that young Brendan at the park, I said, we can go through and walk from one end of this park to another, and all the matter in how we do it, as long as the end results are fine, but we could do it in 15 different ways. We could zigzag, we could joke, we could punch, we could do this, we punch and then make up the situation and boom, and do it. Find out how long are we going to take to walk across the park? We'll do it in 55 minutes. And then we'll throw 8 people in the mix to walk through. And we could do it in so many different ways in 55 minutes. We could start fires and put them out, or we could do this, we could do that, and all the matter, but by the end of the way, when we got there, we could learn lessons, and we could still come out with the same perspective, but went through it thousands of different ways. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, that's how this stuff works, and they're not getting it. They think they're manipulating the outcomes and the perfect outcomes, and they're not. It can work out different ways. Yeah, it can be the most loving way possible, but some people don't know how to be loving. So they still keep hating, fighting, twisting, and tearing and stuff like that. Joab is made as a central villainous figure in King David's thing because he is an in-law and David loves him, and that's why he's allowed to do what he does, because other people are twisting him, just like the other people. They don't tell you the names of the other people twisting Absalom against him. Or the next son, Adonai and his mother. They don't tell you who's twisting these people against him. They remain nameless shadows. They're the ones that don't come to David. They're the ones that don't talk to David, and they don't give you a name. That's why when they took those kids and hooked them to supercomputers, they did not name them. So they couldn't connect to David's descendants, and David's descendants couldn't connect to them. Then when he figured out the synapses of them, he could name them and assimilate them, and they could shut down the supercomputers to start operating independently of organic operating systems that people could influence emotionally. Wow, this stuff is deep, man. It's all sci-fi. Yeah, you've been living sci-fi for the last... If you haven't woke up and smelled the coffee yet, man, they don't give you everything. Today's technology is 20, 40, 50 years, depending on how much they want in advance, behind what the elite have. It's been this way forever, man. It's been this way for a long time. Okay? Yes. This is yesterday's news, man. This cell phone. This is archaic compared to... Yeah. That stuff's built to last. They don't have to buy new ones. They just get upgrades. Yeah. Didn't you watch Robots? Never mind. Just joking around, but yeah, they use this to do this to splinter us and separate us. It's a thing to keep me and Lawrence apart, so we're not united and working together. So I can connect with him, and then his son can connect, and then you've got the similitude of Abraham and the similitude of David and the similitude of Solomon all kicking your ass, and he won't get you off of them. do one more. Peace.